everyone, welcome to GIPE 2021 Talkshow. I'm Jessica Adelia with my partner,
Adela,
as your host today. We are coming to you live from Photography Laboratory School of Communication at Majaya Catholic University.
Yes, that's correct. And today we are welcoming three of our special guests. The first one is Professor Manfred from Westphalian University of Applied Sciences of Germany as the project manager of Global Intercultural Project Experience, or GIPE. And the second one is Joshua Kurniawan as the alumni of Atmajaya Catholic University. And currently you're in the master degree of mechanical engineering at Westphalian University.
Correct.
Okay. And the last one is Sung Sinya.
Yeah.
Sung is a student of mechanical engineering of the Westphalian University in the bachelor program, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everyone.
No.
Hello, Professor Sung and Joshua. How's everyone today?
Great.
Oh,
okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys, how are you guys?
Yeah, I'm very great.
Okay, we're going there. It's fine. We're going there. Okay. So maybe before we start, how long have you guys been here? Maybe Prof. Mayor?
To Indonesia, 2 days longer than in the country because we had to undergo the quarantine.
Right.
So we arrived here Tuesday last week,
Okay.
and we are supposed to leave on early Sunday morning, actually close past midnight. So we still have a couple of days.
I see. Oh, you're going soon. No, not yet, right?
No.
Okay, not yet. You still have plans here.
so are you enjoying your visit to Indonesia so far?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's not my first time. I visited Indonesia and Majaya before, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
So,
Honestly.
oh, that's so nice. Thank you. How about you guys? Maybe soon, because you live here.
Yeah.
What about you? Is this your first time in Indonesia?
No, I was in because of cruise ship. I was in Bali for a few days, and yeah, it was great. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
important.
Yeah, it's very, very rare.
yeah, this is my first time in Java, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it's great.
Okay.
I'm enjoying
Okay.
food and so yeah.
You like the food
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. Actually, it's quite similar to. I mean, my hometown, Malaysia. Yeah, it's quite similar, and yeah, it tastes very good.
Oh, okay, I see. That's happy to hear. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Before we get to know more about GIPE, we would love to get to know more about our guest, Professor Mayor. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself, yeah. I'm from Germany, of course. I'm a professor in business computing at the Westphalian University of Applied Science. So I'm a computer scientist, but over the last 2 decades, I more and more enjoyed visiting other universities, also organizing student exchange. So then the idea came up when the DAAD, the German Academic Exchange Service, when they called for applications for this international project, then I called friends at various universities. I called friends from Atmajaya, from our partner university in Peru and Namibia, and then we set up the project, and we were successful, and then we got a grant to bring students from all these countries together now. So that's a brief history of GIPE. Personally, as I said, I enjoy traveling, hiking, the nature, flying, and meet other people. Enjoy.
So that's why yesterday you hiking, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Waterfall.
I enjoyed, and I was
And
the first to jump into the waterfall, which then resulted in some.
It's okay. It's a souvenir. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That sounds interesting. You also talked a little bit about GIPE. We'll get to that soon. So maybe for the next of our guests, maybe Joshua, could you please tell us
About yourself.
Yeah, my name is Joseph. As you probably know, I'm an alumni of mechanical engineering from Atmajaya 2015. Now I'm pursuing my master degree in Germany in Westphalia. I probably moved to Germany since I graduated from my project now. Yeah, I've been living in Germany for like the past 2 years. I have my hobbies like computer games, course,
Okay, I see. Okay, that's very specific then. Okay, and then Sue, can you please tell us?
I'm currently studying in Germany in Westfälische Hochschule, and I'm studying mechanical engineering in bachelor. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, we can tell. You look very happy.
Yeah, you're really happy.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the brief introduction. Oh, maybe this is just out of curiosity. So you guys are both not from Germany, right?
No.
Yeah. So do you guys speak German well? Does it like stick to you? You live in it, that's all I know. Yeah.
I'd like to say my German is quite like my English language.
That's so good then.
No. I still have a trouble with my German, and also I still have a trouble with my English. So
Okay.
my mother tongue, and all the lecture is in German. So
Oh, I see. Oh, all of these classes are in German.
no.
And okay, so is that like a struggle also for you?
Like say like 40%.
I see. Well, there's a 60%, so
Played for.
yeah, it's fine. I guess you're getting there. What about you, Sue?
Yeah, I have been in Germany for 4 years around, and German is actually still a bit okay and a bit hard for me. But yeah, a language is not that easy to master it. So yeah, I'm taking time to learn it.
Oh,
as well.
okay. I see Professor Mir agreeing.
Yeah. What do you say then?
Are you guys speak German?
Yeah. We used to communicate in German, and I perfectly understand both of them.
Luckily.
No, you're just good. Don't worry. Oh, God.
No, there's also saying you need a whole of your life to probably master German.
Yeah, I've heard that also. I heard that it's one of the hardest languages in probably the whole universe, perhaps.
You have
It
like
is.
12 ways to say only the article D. There's
Wow.
12 ways to say.
I see. Okay, that's why it's pretty hard. It's actually a privilege for both of you to study there because Germany is very well known for its engineering. It's very well known for its education also. So it's very impressive for you guys. Congratulations, even if you're still working on it. Okay, moving on. Thank you for the brief introduction. Maybe we'll get to Professor Mayer. Could you please you've told us a little bit about GIPE. Could you please tell us more about GIPE, specifically this year's program?
Yeah. So as I said, 3 years ago, then we applied for this project, and basically what the acronym stands for, it's GIPE, Global Intercultural Project Experience. This is really at the core of what we want to give to our students. So we want them to explore, as I said, global, so worldwide, intercultural, also interdisciplinary experience working on a real project. So it's lots of challenges together in one project. So basically what we are doing is that every year we select a project partner in one of the countries where we are, countries that GIPE includes. So it's Peru, Namibia, Indonesia, and Germany. So last year's project was for a company or an institution in Namibia. And this year, we had the pleasure to work together with the Spanita Eco Spirit Center, where we visited last weekend. And so the students were working on very different tasks. So it was really spreading out over a business-related task, developing a business strategy, coming up with digital marketing strategy, and then it ranges over developing a website, up to very engineering-like tasks. So developing a smart farming application, putting sensors on the field, presenting the data on the website. And there is still some ongoing task because it's a very complex task, developing an educational game for the client. So this is what the students were working on this year. And we had the pleasure to visit the client, the Spanita, last weekend and to have a wonderful handover of the results. So basically the project report. And so this is now in the hands of the client. So the project as such is over. We delivered what we have developed, except for this educational game, which will come later. And now it's with the client to further develop and make this whole thing sustainable.
I see.
The participant is come from 4 different countries, right? Is there any incentive or scholarship for the student?
Yes, there is. To some extent, yes, and very sadly, no. I have to explain.
Oh,
Okay, convenient.
There is an incentive, of course. I mean, basically, they gain this experience. This is really some assets you can't take away from our students. But there is also the incentive that we planned to get all the students from the project from all the countries to our campus for a 2-week period. It was intended to happen in April. And now remember, last year, April, there was just the outbreak of the pandemic. So we had to cancel. And we postponed it to autumn, still pandemic ongoing. For this year's project, we thought we could get together all the 2 generations of students in April. It didn't work. Then numbers were also coming up here in Indonesia and other partner countries. Then we went for October, and it was a very sad day when we had to decide we cannot make this happen. Which basically means that for Atmajaya students, we couldn't get them on our campus. So this was really, I mean, it's the greatest incentive to work on the project and then to come to Germany to meet the peers and also to travel, to do some sightseeing, etc. And I'm very sad this could not happen. The more happy I am that we could bring 2 students at least to here. You recognize they are not from Germany. That's it happened like that. That was not on purpose. Yeah, we didn't ban our German students, but one after the other struggled with some administrative issues, passport issues, not being fully vaccinated because of just having recovered from the corona and things like that. So at the end, anyway, happy to have Song and Yozo with us here. And we very much hope that for the next project maybe in April or we move into June, we will have really what is the core of this incentive to bring students on our campus and really let them explore being together with their peers. That is at the core of the project, right?
So we just hope that COVID's going down soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And how was the GIPE program this year, according to you?
It was very complex. It was really challenging to manage so many different streams, like we call the different tasks. It was challenging on the one hand side, but also when I look back at the final meeting, we had a virtual launch event, everything had to go online on Zoom. But we had this virtual launch event where the students proudly presented what they have achieved. And I would never have expected so great results and being presented with such an enthusiasm. Yeah, so that was really, that was breathtaking. And so in that regard, it was complex. It was lots of work for everyone. And as we say, we want to have hard work, but also fun in the project. Yeah? And also, I remember that the students had some fun, but you need to ask the students for that. Yeah?
Okay, I see exactly what we were gonna do right now. What about you guys? So, as Professor Mayer said, it was held virtually, like 100% virtually. Can you guys tell us a little bit about that? It's like,
how was your experience from the online or virtual version of GIPE?
Okay, for me first, it was stressful.
Okay, okay, that's a good start. Okay.
The first thing we need to do is we need to break a language barrier because we communicate in English, and most of us been fluent enough in English, so yeah, we need to make it all happen. And then we need to break also the culture barrier and
Right.
and also technical barrier because there's like a technical norm in some countries not the same, so we need to discuss it together and work on it.
And so it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, right, I think it's the time zone because as we are 4 countries from different continents, so it's a bit hard to arrange a meeting for every one of us. So sometimes maybe it's just 2 or 3 are free at that time. So finally, yeah, we achieved it. But it's the biggest problem for us, I would say.
Oh, so that's the biggest challenge for you.
Yeah, to arrange a meeting so everyone can discuss about the problem and
But we
I
have 3 time zones. For
right.
example, like
Yes.
We always start meeting on 12 p.m. because it was a 6 a.m. in Peru.
yeah.
12 p.m. in Namibia and Germany, and 6 p.m. in Indonesia.
So even the colleagues from Peru, they are able to join, but their face looks like they just woke up, and I think it's really hard for them. So
Yeah, I see.
and also for Indonesia,
Yeah,
because already late
It's
night.
12.
and always after the meeting in my stream, we always like hang out or talk, and it can last like 2 hours or 3
Oh, I
hours.
see.
We hang out like virtually. It was quite fun, to be honest, because know each other much better.
I see.
May we know what stream did you guys take part in?
For me, I'm in smart farming.
And I'm from the same website design.
Okay.
When you're participating on this GIPE program, you find any challenges like that you thought before, as you thought before? And is it hard if you guys arrange the meeting with the other participants?
So as like sometimes like 5 of us, we are saying like, yeah, we can do the meeting, but somehow still some will just disappear. Not really disappear, but just cannot make it because of some, and but it's fine because we can still write a note or something, so everybody still can reach the information.
Okay, but at the end of the day, you guys still managed to find, that's a great point, because it's not easy to even manage a meeting in the same time zone. Sometimes you can't do things. There's just like 3 different time zones. It's very challenging. I see. Okay. Professor Mayer, do you want to add anything?
Yeah. I'm just listening to our students. So they mentioned challenges in the project. I suppose you also had some fun, but you're too shy to mention that.
Probably that's what made it fun.
Yeah, but that's really at the core of the idea.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task.
Yes.
And sometimes I was thinking, why did we put all these challenges in this one project? Why did we go for a real client with real requirements? Yeah, so they have some needs and we want to help serve the client. Why did we go for countries so widely spread? It's 12 hours in between.
Yes.
Yeah, so as Song said, so when you set up a meeting, now we talk about it's GIPE o'clock, which means that's the only time that we can schedule a meeting where all the participants can take part. So that means 7 in the morning for our Peruvian friends, and it means 7 in the evening for Indonesia.
Very challenging.
Yes.
Yeah? So you can imagine,
Yeah.
it's not easy to manage this, but this is just an administrative task. But then also, as you mentioned, different cultures, different, the language barrier was mentioned. And then, not to forget, they really did some real work. So
Right.
it's about learning how to do something, how to develop a website, how to come up with an idea for improving the digital marketing. So it's a course, it's a class. So students learn in this project. They do not just have fun and explore these intercultural differences, but they really work on some tasks. And so this all together, as you can imagine, is very challenging, but it's also very rewarding. So believe me, when yesterday we handed over to the client and you see how grateful they are And you see that it really makes a difference what we did. Yeah, so everyone there was very excited to have these, the ceremony, to have the results and to work with us. And then another point also to bring together students, even if it's only 2 of us now being here. It's so wonderful to see when students from different continents, when they mingle and when they have fun together, and when they, I don't know what they did, I don't want to know, but it's good to see that they have time together.
Yeah, so everything just pays off when you see the clients' faces when they see the projects. Did it pay off?
Yeah, it did.
It did? Oh,
All
okay.
the effort, all the tears.
Oh, no. Oh, was it all tears? Oh,
No crying.
but it's okay. It's fine.
So you've seen their work so far. What do you think about the output of this year's GIPE program?
Yeah, as I said, it's very complex, so it's spread over many disciplines. And for each of the streams, really, it was really a great achievement. There is still the educational game coming out, and what I have seen is will really be nice and explain the beauty and the mission of the client. There is a smart farming application which for the first time allows to have central data, have some information from the Puspanita ground being visible on the web. There's a website which you can access right now from your smartphone, and you have all the information, including a booking system. Yeah, so you can book accommodation there. That's working. There is a detailed strategy how to improve the business of Puspanita in the future. And what did I miss? Did I miss anything?
I think that's the whole package.
I think
What else did you miss?
that's it, but it's, yeah, you see, it's widespread
Yeah.
achievements, and in each of these streams, the students really did a great job.
Maybe you want to promote your website?
Yeah, why not? Maybe everyone's watching.
It's simply puspanita.id. Yeah.
Puspanita.id, right?
.id.
Check it out. Okay. Okay, so what about from you guys? So obviously Professor Mayer is very satisfied with it. How are you guys? Yeah, how are you feeling about the project? The output of it.
Me first?
Don't get emotional. You guys have to cry. Don't do that. Just try to.
So actually, it was my first project as well. So I really learned a lot about how to do a project, gathering information, and I think this one point I think is quite important for a project is the leadership.
Excellent.
Yeah, to manage meetings and so I think that's what I learned a lot from a leader in my stream.
Oh, so you're the leader of your stream.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not, but
I'm
you
not.
are leading in some
Yeah,
way.
learning from one of the scholars.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Okay. What about you, Yusuf?
Yes, I'm really grateful that I can protect with this project, because I've learned a lot in this project. Like, there's a lot of things that I have learned in this project that I cannot learn from like the other project that I've been into. And yeah, like so there's a lot of things, but like a social skill, like I've learned like leadership and how to communicate and how to organize a project. I use it as a stepping stone for my future career to be. That's yeah.
That was so beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So you guys learned a lot in not just from the technical like studies, but you also learned like leadership skills and everything. So it's literally a whole package. Yeah. Okay.
So, Prof. Mayer, could you elaborate the values of this program? I mean, perhaps what kind of values that we can get from this GIPE program?
It depends from where you look at the project. I mean, for the students, of course, it's this intercultural experience. For each of them, which I think really prepares them very well for a career in some global organizations. So from last year, I witnessed that they proudly uploaded their certificate that they get on LinkedIn. By the way, we invite all the students and all the staff to come to our LinkedIn group. We built a kind of GIPE family there, so we want to stay together in the future. So that's the student perspective, but also it enhances the visibility or demonstrates the importance of international exchange at each of the universities. Yeah, so it will demonstrate how useful, how important it is to work together over cultures, over organizations from different countries. So that's also another key value of the project. And as our students mentioned, so really also they need to develop some skills that they would not need to in other projects because of all these challenges. It's very challenging, but it's also rewarding.
It's very rewarding in the end, right? Yeah, especially when you mentioned that you see Puspanita was very grateful for it, right? Okay, so what about you guys? Out of the leadership values, did you guys get any other values from this program?
Oh, credit for my graduation, of course.
Oh, great graduation.
No.
Yeah.
Like skills that I've learned, like doing by practical, like we implement what we've learned in school, because what we learn in school is just like a theory and stuff and boring stuff. And here in this project, we can do we can implement it directly in front, especially for me because I've been working like mobile from like Germany, and the device is been in prototype is being made in Indonesia. So to be able to see my prototype in real life and to be able to visit and see it working properly is give me some kind of satisfaction.
I see. Chills, right? Oh, chills. Okay, so what about you, Sun?
Me, suspension, how is the key value?
Yeah, of course it does. I think it does. Yeah, friendship, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I met some good friends in my stream and also other streams. So we are really lucky. Last week we are able to meet because we were only meeting online, and yeah, it was very great that we can meet face to face and talk to each other, and yeah.
Yeah, so you get these
Friendship.
yeah, friendship, new friends, global friends,
Friendship.
right? Yeah, and you get to try these things that you learned in class, the theories you learned, and then you made your own prototype, and then you could see it, and then it was like, yeah, what other values can you ask for, right? Okay, so Professor Mayer, can you please can you please explain to us how do you maintain the sustainability of the GIPE program?
That's a very good question. Because besides managing all these projects, like last year Namibia, this year Indonesia, next year it will be Peru, then we have another project which is already funded. It's one of the key tasks in the project, also in the project plan, that we do not want to let this end after the period that we got funding for. So that's also the reason why I visited all the partner universities at the beginning, and it's in the plan that I will visit all the partner universities next year too, in order to discuss and to develop mechanisms, see where we can get some funding for this project to go on, to really make it sustain. So that it's an ongoing activity. We dream of that. In some years, you find GIPE somewhere in a dictionary. What does it mean to GIPE? Let's GIPE. Let's GIPE is our slogan. So that it's really something that will go on. If you ask me, forever, because it's of this importance really to bring students together, to make them learn together. But it's not easy. For this 4-year period, we got excellent funding from the German Academic Exchange Service. However, we could not make use of the funding as we wanted, to bring students on our campus and to make our students visit there. But for the time after that, we need to discuss and find sponsors, funding in the different countries, and that will be on the top of our priorities the next year. Yeah, and then we have one more year which is funded, and then to enter the second phase. And really, we need to make this sustainable.
Okay, that sounds like a challenge because there's 4 different countries here. It's not just one country. You have to maintain the sponsorships as well. It's very hard, but you managed. So it's very amazing for us. Okay, so how long did this project last? The last one? Is it like a few months or is it a year?
Because integrated in the normal coursework in the normal academic calendar, which is also a challenge by itself because it's not the same in all the countries. So normally, and it was also the case for this project, we have a global kickoff in mid of March. That is the first time that all the scholars meet each other online. It's online. It's online. Yeah? So, but it's the first moment when we have a meeting with all the scholars, and then they get to know, oh, there's an interesting looking person from Indonesia, from yeah, and they look so different, and they have fun exploring. Oh, we are the team, we are the GIPE team. This is the intention of this global kickoff. And then hopefully bring together students on our campus. Then we build mixed teams, and then they continue working on until early mid-July, when the summer semester is going to end, because the students will also receive credits, as Jojo already mentioned. Yeah? So it's also, yeah, it's an incentive, of course. Yeah, so it's a class they are doing. It's a class they are learning. They are doing an exam. And they get credits for that. So it lasts from mid of March until early July from the student perspective. Of course, for us now, we are already planning doing the detailed planning. Just a week after I come back to Germany, we have hopefully the representatives of all our partner countries on our campus, and we do the detailed planning for the next project in Peru.
Oh, you have a very tight schedule. Okay.
Maybe for Joshua, do you have any tips for our fellow students of Atmajaya Catholic University who would like to join the GIPE program next year, maybe?
Okay, my first tip will be it's some question to be honest.
Okay, take your time. Take your time, it's fine.
Probably improve your English skill and communication. It is most essential because the main problem that I faced in my experience of communication and language barrier. Because there are some of us who didn't speak English fluently, like me.
No way! That's not true.
But that's happening. And yeah, to be honest, a lot of students from Atmajaya speak quite well. So I believe that shouldn't be a problem.
I don't say that, I'm flattered. No, just kidding. Okay, fun.
And probably a technical skill also, like you need to be able to concentrate on some kind of technical skill that others don't have. So you're the expertise in your team, and your team can rely on this kind of problem or this kind of stuff. And probably that's the tips for me.
That's a tip. Okay, so maybe maybe you can tell us a little bit more when you join this program. What are the requirements that you have to fulfill?
I don't think there's any requirement, right?
No, really?
No, there are requirements.
They are not TOEFL or IELTS.
They have to hand in an application. Yeah. And then we have local committees selecting from the applicants. So we received more than 30 applications at our university, and we were able to give 8 scholarships. So those of you were lucky. And of course, there are some criteria that we met. That is some command of English language, of course. There is performance in the study program. And there's also, we look at the motivational letter. So what really drives you to apply for the project? So we want to see that there is some some really enthusiasm in meeting with peers working in this project with peers from other continents. So there are some formal requirements and also these informal. We look at some social initiatives in the application.
Okay, I see. So there are three main points: a better or a great performance in studies, motivational letter, and the last one was
And English, of course.
English.
okay. So take notes.
English.
Yeah,
Very important.
And
take
then
notes.
every university can add some local requirements. So
Right.
that's open because I mean our partner university in Peru is a Catholic university too. So it's Atmajaya, and so you may put some emphasis on other aspects that you also want to take into account when selecting the scholars. But these English performance study motivation, these are a standard general.
Okay, take notes, you guys. Okay.
Maybe that's all for today. It's been a pleasure for us welcoming Professor Meyer, Joshua, and Sunjanya here and discussing much more in GIPE.
Yes, and on behalf of the engineering faculty and business administration and communication science faculty of Atmajaya Catholic University, we thank you, Professor Manfred Meyer, Sung, and Joshua for sharing with us here today.
Thank you to the Photography Laboratory School of Communication for letting us have this proper live streaming talk show with our splendid guest today.
And that's all for today. We hope you enjoy this very insightful talk. And I'm your host, Adela.
And I'm Jessica.
And thank you for tuning in. We see you when we see you.